The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
The bull market's been driven by earnings, and earnings have been driven by a fundamentally strong economy. The bull market's been driven by earnings, and earnings have been driven by a fundamentally strong economy. The bull market.
He had trouble getting that out, didn't he? Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. Okay, he's saying that this economy has been driven by fundamentals, strong earnings. That is a bull-faced lie. It's been driven by debt, and that is why we're going to have the biggest crash ever. It's driven by debt. That's what's been driving the economy. You can't have an economy driven by debt and sustain it. And the debt has been moving the markets, not earnings. Earnings aren't moving the market. They're fake anyways. How do they get their earnings? They print money. Then they go in. They go borrow it, 0%. Then the company will purchase their own stock to lower the amount of shares they have so that the lousy earnings they have look better. Because if you have 1 million shares and you drop it down to 500,000 shares, now you spread those lousy earnings instead of over 1 million shares, you spread them over 500,000 shares. What happens? Earnings soar. And that pushes up the stock price. All fake. All fake. This has been going on since 2008. The Federal Reserve has increased our national debt by 211% to artificially push the stock market up 475%. Let me repeat. National debt, our debt, has increased by 211%. You know why they did that? To push the market up, and it's all fake, 475%, so the very rich can get richer. Not Main Street. Main Street doesn't benefit. This is amazing. Now let's take 16% of the 211% increase in debt. Now if you take between March of 2020, March of 2021, the S&P went up 91%. Earnings? Profits? Margins? Top-line sales? No! What are you, nuts? Because they increased their debt. Their debt. If they didn't increase their debt by 16%, the market wouldn't have moved. That's right. It's all this debt, and it's this debt that's going to kill you. We are delusional when it comes to debt. The only people who benefit from debt, increasing debt, are the banksters, the wealthy, the big corporations. Oh, and I'm sorry, the politicians, the congressmen who take payoffs, who are bought off. Just think about our debt. It's humongous. Anyone with an ounce of common sense would know. Our country is in such a mess. Why? All due to the mountains of debt. Starting in 2008. The debt that's unpayable. All we do is keep paying interest on our debt. We don't even pay it down. We don't even have enough future cash flow to service the debt. And when the interest rates get up there, this market's going to roll over and crash. Keep track of your interest. When you see the yield on the 10-year Treasury get to about 2.4%, it's over. It's over. You can't handle it. This is nuts. You know, it's amazing. People don't understand. Everything they do, our owners, the Wall Street bankers, the 1/100th of 1%, the guys who control our Congress, who control the Federal Reserve, everything they do is to enrich themselves, not to help Wall Street. What are you, nuts? Main Street is to enrich themselves, to enrich their Wall Street partners, their Wall Street bankers, individuals of Congress, especially the people on the banking committee, like Maxine Waters, whose net worth in the last 3 years going up like $2.5 million from all crooked deals, inside information. This is nuts. You know, in the 80s, they used to discourage risk-taking. See, we haven't discouraged risk-taking in 2008. When the market crashed in 2008, it was because there was no discouraging of risk-taking. Anybody could take a risk. Nobody cared. There was no downside to it. No downside to it. See, it used to be, you go back to the 80s, go back to the saving and loan crisis, they used to discourage risk-taking. How did they do that? Because the losses, any losses would have to be borne not just by the taxpayer, but the CEO, the officers and directors. So take the savings and loan crisis in the 80s. It cost $160 billion, that crisis. The taxpayers paid $132 billion, and the CEOs and the directors, management, had to pay $28 billion out of their own pocket. Jamie Dimon would have to pay $28 billion out of his own pocket. Now, many went bankrupt and many went to jail, like Keating of Lincoln Savings. Are you kidding? And what's really funny is, when people think of the Bushes, the Bush dynasty, what do they think of? Oil. But in reality, their big wealth came from investment banking. And it continues today. And two patriarchs of that family who built the family fortune, Samuel Bush and Prescott Bush. And it's really funny when you go back and look at it. These guys started this, the wealth of the Bush family. And remember, it was Neil Bush, he followed their step. And by the way, Samuel Bush, he was a real crook. He started an investment bank, and then because of his connection with the Rockefeller family, when World War I broke out, he was appointed as chairman of the government's wartime board. What was that? He was put in charge to purchase all the ammunition and weapons for the war. Are you kidding me? That's how the Bush family fortune was made. That's the base of the fortune. Are you kidding me? That's how they made money. But Prescott Bush, the president, that's the father of President George Bush and the grandfather of President George W. Bush, he also was a crook. But he was investment banking, made a fortune. He merged his company with Harriman. It was Brown and Brown. They merged it to Harriman, and eventually it became Drexel. He made a fortune. But it was Neil Bush who stepped into their shoes, and he wanted to be an investment banker. That's right, Neil Bush. And he was a crook. He happened to be lucky. He didn't go to jail like some of these bankers. He owned a company called Silverado, a bank. But he escaped being prosecuted when he wrote 132 personal loans to himself and his partners. Talk about that when we get back and how it ties into what's going on today.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy. Is your business prepared to respond to any emergency in the workplace? Well, you better be. Let over 30 years of law enforcement experience go to work for you. Boyd Investigative Group is here for all your business security needs. I know. I use them. They're terrific. Call today for your free confidential consultation. 941-724-4535. That's 941-724-4535. Or visit them on the website, BoydInvestigativegroup.com.
License number A1900020.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here. And it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Warning. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60-70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. It tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days. philsgang.com. When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grandy. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay, so we were talking about Neil Bush, and you want to know, well, how's that tied to now? Oh, very much so. Because when Neil Bush got tied up, he owned Silverado, and he wrote 132 loans to himself. That's a little crooked. Just as crooked. As a matter of fact, if you put Neil Bush together with Sam Bush and Prescott Bush, they're more crooked than a corkscrew, these guys. Unbelievable. But that's how they made their fortune. Okay? Now, the problem back then is you were liable. Now, he just thank God that his father was in the White House and he didn't get nailed. He didn't get convicted. They didn't go after him. But the family had to bail him out because you're personally liable. As time went on, they got rid of that law, which is terrible. They should have kept that law on, okay? So these guys would be responsible. So these banksters would be. Now they're not responsible at all. Guess who's responsible? You and I. We always get the debt. The middle class gets screwed all the time. They're the ones that always pay the debt for all these crashes and the one that's coming. And talking about the crash that's coming, if you don't believe there's a crash that's coming, I don't know what's wrong with you. How can you sit there and not think a crash is coming? Now, there's a big group of people that don't think that, because right now we have more people coming in with a stock market with money. People have never been in the market. And this is what tells you the market crash is coming. Happens every time. Every time. Every stock market crash, you see the same thing. You get a group of people that are coming in, and they're putting all kinds of money in. They're borrowing the money. They're doing it on margin, and these people are going to get killed, going to get squashed. All they know is they've heard for years the same names, the same exact names. Facebook and Netflix and Google and Amazon and Tesla and on and on and on. Now, after 13 years, they decide to come in, like they always do, and because they hear the hype. Because every time before a crash is exactly what happens. The biggest red flag to a crash is when these people show up. When these people show up. And then they push that market straight up, and the margin debt is straight up, and they're the catalyst, because the minute they panic, and you get this big move to the upside. The minute they panic, they say they will not. They get a call, margin call, and they won't write a check. They'll say, instead, sell my stock, and then it feeds on itself, and then it just turns to panic to just a bloodbath. So we got those players. They're here. But we should never be where we are. We got here because guess who pays for all the crashes? You and I, and especially the middle class. You go on the hook for it. You do. They changed the law. No longer are the CEOs responsible. These banksters, they're not responsible. They used to be. No more. The managers used to be. No more. So it's debt that's been moving this market since 2008. It's the debt. It's the stock buybacks. It's those stock buybacks. It's printing the money to buy your own stock back. You think that's free? It's debt. We have historic debt. We have historic corporate debt. Why do you think banks are having such a trouble? And this was really funny. Everybody's telling us how great this economy is going to be. Remember I told you? I said they're all wrong. They're all saying, well, this economy's going to boom. Our economic GDP growth is going to be 10%. I always said, 10%? Yeah, I get that. You put in $17 trillion. You should move something up. Remember, they put $9 trillion into the banks in September 2019 to prop the banks up, because the banks are in real bad trouble. Why? Because Bush never, when this market crashed in 2008, he never allowed the banks to go down. The biggest bank should have gone into bankruptcy. They're already going into bankruptcy. But why wouldn't they let them into bankruptcy? Because you got the dynasty families. You got all the big families, like the Bush dynasty. You got the Rockefeller dynasty. You got the Getty families. You got all the big families. Oh, they weren't going to allow that to happen. So since the 2008 crash, we've been building on a falsehood. We've been building on debt. This market's been propped up on debt. At some point, it stops, and we're getting very close to that point. And here's what's really funny. Last week I said to my members, when Kudlow and everybody was talking about, wow, man, this is unbelievable. Our economy's going to be fantastic, unbelievable. And I said to my members, I said, watch this. I said, if it's going to be so wonderful and the economy's going to really take off because we're into the, we're into the pandemic and everybody's got their vaccine shot and everything's going to be wonderful, I said, then let's go to what we call my COVID-19 stocks, okay? And what are our COVID stocks? These are the ones that we made a lot of money on when nobody wanted them, okay? Right after the crash. These were the airline stocks. These were the casinos. These were the airlines, cruise lines, casinos, airlines, hotels, restaurants. Nobody wanted those between February 2020 and March 2020, and we bought them. And we did fantastic. So now they're saying the economy's going to take off, right? But you want to see Wall Street today. You want to see the big pushes on their face. The airlines are down. The airlines are going down. Wait a minute, you told us you were going to have this big move to the upside. Everybody's going to be jumping in airplanes and flying around and going to casinos and taking vacations and going skiing. Airlines are going to be packed. Take a look at Delta Airlines. And this morning, we're shorting them. See, that's right. You got to learn to short. If you can push a button, you can short a stock. For God's sakes, listen to me. Don't sit there chasing some stock. Listen to these people on these fake business that were telling you this hot stock. The next stock's going. There's not going to be a place to hide. The only thing that's going to go up is gold. There's no place to hide because for 13 years we have built the biggest bubble in history, the biggest debt bubble, and you got to pay for that. You got to pay for debt. So today, look at the cruise lines. Same thing. I said to my members, look, we'll watch these things. This was last week. And you watch. They were red. And I said, you watch these things. If they start making new lows, we're going to short them. And they're all going down today. Look at this. And they're all red. Because people aren't just going to drop their mask and go to a casino. And people are hurting, man. But this is where you make money in the stock market. Now talk about the money we can make in the market when I get back. Remember St. Jude, please.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grain at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market is still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days. Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Then go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. Now, here's Phil.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. For the best insight in both the stock market and the economy, turn to the Phil's Gang YouTube channel, where each weekday at 3 p.m. Eastern, you get to listen to my Phil's Gang radio show, where you get the best information both on stocks and the economy. And each Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, you get the new segment of my popular Market Crash Unfolding, where I detail the weekly events that are leading us up to the next crash. Both Phil's Gang radio show and Market Crash Unfolding on Phil's Gang YouTube channel. That's right. Please listen to the radio show on my YouTube channel. And every Friday, remember, I post around 6:30 in the evening Eastern Time my unfolding of a market crash. Each week, I review the market and I explain to you and identify for you what is going on. What are the little points of that market? What are the red flags? And they keep on mounting up each week as we get closer to a crash. Now, 99.99% don't believe there's a crash coming, because they think it's different this time. Because since 2008, all they've been doing is printing and printing and printing money, throwing it at the stock market and telling people that the stock market's the economy. And there's no productivity. People don't get it. There has not been productivity since 2008, so you can't have an economic growth. The only kind of economic growth you get is one that comes from printing of money in debt. You just keep printing money, throw $8 trillion in, another $10 trillion, another $9 trillion. And yes, they're right. The economy will go up 10%. And it's going to turn around, go right back down. You can't sustain it. Do you really think when the market crashed in February of 2020, and we went down 34% in 22 days. And at the end of March 2020, when it ended, and then we shot up another 34%. Do you think that went up because things were good? Think about it. Do you think things were good? We still had people on forbearance. Forbearance. They couldn't even make their home payment. Half the people that got laid off, the 22 million people, still weren't back to work. We still don't have 8 million of the 22 million people back to work. So how did we go? And by the way, we were short the market. We turned our position from buying to short 2 days. 2 days. We started 2 days before that crash in February. Everybody blames on the pandemic. It had nothing to do with the pandemic. Nothing to do with it. That was the trigger. It was the trigger. It was going to crash anyways because of the massive debt we had from 2008 because Baby Bush refused and all his dynasty pals and the Gettys and the Rockefellers and everybody that controls everything, they didn't want a recession. No, they didn't want a recession. They wanted to get their money back that they lost. So they just said, let's print money, throw it at the stock market, throw it at the economy. Who cares? Just keep printing and printing and printing. We don't care about the debt because we're millionaires and billionaires. What do we care about debt? What do we care about debt? Let's just keep moving the stock market up. 85% of income comes from the stock market. And then the smart money got aboard that train. But here's the problem. They don't know when to get off the train. Just like these people that are coming, or we hear every day, you know that there's more money coming to the market in the last 5 months than in the last 12 years. That's margin money, for God's sakes. Of course, you got these people who came in, the same people. These are probably the sons and the daughters of the people who came in to the dot-com crash. Same thing. Came in right at the end. All margin money. God, and the money that you're going to make when the market goes down, it's so easy to, you just got to know when the hell to get out, when to change your position. And the first lesson, stop listening to these people on Fake Business News Network. Stop listening to them. You can't grow 10%. You can look at when they said things were the best economy ever. You remember Kudlow? You remember Kudlow when he was with the president? Kudlow was saying, remember this?
We could grow this economy at 4 or 5%. We could grow this.
Then he reduced it.
It looks like it's 4-ish. I'd be thrilled if it was 3+.
I mean, he kept bringing it down and down. You can't grow it. We haven't grown this economy because we haven't been productive. We're not producing. We're not the big CEOs. Why would a CEO take $1 million and buy a new piece of machinery so that you could make, instead of 10 Phil's Gangs hat an hour, that you can make 100 an hour, so that then you make more money? You don't make more money because the CEOs aren't going to let you produce. Because why would a CEO give you $1 million new machine for $1 million? He's going to take that $1 million and buy his own shares back. And then he reduces the amount of shares he owns. And then when his earnings come out, they stink. And because he reduced the amount of shares, they look good. And then they go up. And this is what they've been doing for 13 years. But here's the problem. Now we're there. The S&P's up 475%. But the bigger problem is, so isn't the debt. They increased it by 211%. And they're saying there's no inflation. They lie about the inflation every day. All you want to do, as I said, and I've been saying this for 3 weeks now, ride the momentum stocks up. If you go look right now at Facebook, okay, Facebook's pulling back a bit. It's back, okay. Google has relative strength today. It hardly came down at all. Big other stocks are going down, but not Google. Why? Because that's the exact stock that these dopes are coming in from the outside who've never been in the market, been listening about Google since 2013, and now they decide they're going to come in because you got the Fake Business News Network who are out there cheerleading, telling everybody this economy is going to be the best economy in the world, and people are jumping in. I better buy Google. I've never been in the market before. Netflix hardly came down today. Hardly came down. Why? Because you got those same people buying Netflix. These are the only names they hear. You know, Microsoft didn't come down today. Market's down 300 points. Didn't come down. Why? Because it's the same people. It's the only stocks they know. It's the only ones they know. And then Apple hardly came down today. And Amazon hardly came down today. But what came down was the airlines. But wait a minute. You told us the economy's going to be fantastic. That people are going to be flying all over the place. Hey, I'm ready to take a cruise, right? Let me take a look. No, it's sinking like a ship. Cruise like it's sinking. It looks like the Titanic's going down, for God's sakes. Hey, how about a casino? Are you kidding? The casinos are going down because nobody's going to the casinos. Hey, who's lying to us? It's unbelievable, isn't it? So if you just know which stock, that's what we do here. And you don't have to have a big portfolio. The people that follow my portfolio, it's just 5 stocks. It's just 5 stocks. That's it. All year long. The same 5 stocks. Say, how do you make any money? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Go read Buffett's book or Peter Lynch's book. They'll tell you the same thing. If you have more than 5 stocks, you're not going to make money. But if you take 5 stocks that's in everybody's portfolio, Apple, Intel, Caterpillar, Goldman Sachs, Schlumberger, and the Spiders, that's my portfolio, 4 years. And all you have to do, those stocks are the best stocks, and those are the name stocks, those are brand stocks, and everybody's 401k, and everybody's hedge fund, every insurance company has it, every 401k has it, and when they go up, we go up. And when they start pulling the money out, we see it first, we get out, reverse our position, so when it goes down, we're shorting it. So your 5 stocks makes 10 stocks. Then we have the working investor group, mostly ETFs. Most of the ETFs, we've been in those for a long time. And every day at 2 o'clock, we tell you exactly what to do with them. And so once you know when to make money as it goes down, like making money as it goes up, you got it made. You got it made. And you got to prove that to yourself. But if you can't make money when the market's going down, if you only can make money when the market's going up, what are you, nuts? That's like taking a $100 bill and ripping it in half. And it's ridiculous. You got to know both sides. Just like I always say, would you buy a car with forward but no reverse? No. And they've been lying to you for 13 years about this great economy. We don't have a great economy. In 13 years, we haven't reached 3% GDP. So there's a lot of money to be made in this stock market, as long as you know what you're doing. Isn't that the same thing with everything? As long as you know what you're doing? So why don't you join my gang for 10 days? It's free. And see how it works.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grain at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down. It keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days. Warning. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60, 70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. Tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days. philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Why pay thousands of dollars for a weekend seminar when for only $39.95 a month, philsgang.com provides all the daily market investing information you need to make profits in the stock market. With over 40 years of investing experience, only Phil Grandy and the philsgang.com team provide daily live investing webinars, up-to-the-minute market updates, all the investing educational videos you can imagine. Don't hesitate to learn, invest, and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grandy. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Look, you should always be in a position that you're making money regardless of the market's going up or down. Once you do that, then you should be in the stock market. Until you can do that, you shouldn't be in the stock market. Because in the long run, you'll never make money. I mean, that's like getting on a train, okay? And you only go one way, you can't come back. Or get on an aircraft, you only go one way, you can't come back. How does that work? It's not going to work out well. It's the same thing with stock. The stock market's a wonderful thing because it's full of liquidity, which means you can, with a click of a mouse, you can get out in a second. The biggest problem for people is they lose money because they don't know when the hell to get out of the market. And then the next biggest problem, when they know the stock is going down, they say, get me out, Jim, getting killed, get me out. And then they get out and go, shoo. Instead of, wait a minute, if you know it's going to go down and you say, get me out, you got to know it's going to go down. If you tell people you're getting killed, get me out, you got to have an instinct the market's going down. So why in the hell aren't you selling it short? Because you don't have the knowledge to do it. Because you don't know. You don't know how. But common sense tells you if you're sitting there and you're in Facebook and you think it's going to go down, and you say, get me out, you call your broker, should you be saying, not get me out, reverse my position. You should be saying, reverse my position. That's how you make money in the market. And then you do it with 5 stocks. You don't need all these hot stocks. There's 5. Just make sure the 5 stocks are brand stocks, which simply means the stocks that are in every hedge fund's portfolio, every insurance company portfolio, every big bank's portfolio, and those are simple. They're in the S&P. Just take the S&P, pick out a few stocks, the S&P 100 or the S&P 500. That's all. It's simple. And you really got 10 stocks because you got both ways. You're going both ways, short and long. So, but the biggest problem and why we're going to have the biggest crash ever, and you're not going to be able to take advantage of it, which is sad, because it's more fun selling a stock short. Because when a stock goes down, it goes down 10 times faster. And this time it's going to go down 20 times faster. And I know no one listens to me when I tell you this, because this time, unlike the dot-com crash and the housing crash, there's not a lot of hedge funds out there that have been shorting the market. How can you short the market? I mean, just from February of 2020 or March 2020, okay, to March 2021, we've had in 1 year, 42 new all-time highs? That's a little ridiculous, don't you think? 42, all you got to do is just sit there, take the most popular stock and buy it. It just keeps going up. But at some point, you got to know when to get off that horse. And if you don't, you're going to get kicked off and you're going to get hurt. You got to be in control. And if you're not in control, not only to know when to get off, but to turn around and say, now I want to reverse my position. When it's so easy to do that. And I was getting so frustrated with it, okay? And for years, the people wouldn't short their stock because they just wouldn't know when to get out and when to short. I did a color code. And it took us 5 years to write the code and everything. It's a color code. It simply turns yellow when it's telling you there's a problem. There's a problem. Okay, your stock that's green, it's going up. The institutions are pulling money out. Just like when the February crash started, we went down 35% in 22 days. 2 days before, or 3 days, I think it was 2 or 3 days before, it turned yellow. It gave us a warning that something was happening, that money was coming out. So we got our money out and we switched our position to a short. Now, for people who are in a 401k or people who are in mutual funds, for the first time, and I know nobody has it, we patented it. For the first time, if anybody's in a mutual fund, don't you not want to know when to get out? I mean, everybody that's been in a mutual fund, especially a 401k that they stuff with mutual funds, how many times have you gotten killed? Because you don't know when to get out of the mutual fund. Same problem. So we solved that with a mutual fund tracker. And you can have that for 30 days free. The color code one for the charts, 10 days free. The difference is, because it's a mutual fund, it goes much slower, so we're giving you 30 days so you can see it work. It works. But at the end of the day, use some common sense. This market has been on a ride for 13 years, all due to debt. And they keep putting that debt off. They keep on. Why do you think they keep rates at zero? Look, when the market crashed in 2008, when it started to crash, remember what the 10-year Treasury yield was at? It was at around 3.62%, about 360 basis points. Think of 360 basis points. We're now today at 100 and, well, we're staying between 150, say average, we're between 160 and 170 basis points. And let me tell you, interest yields are going up. Nowhere else to go but up, because they're lying to you about the inflation. You know the inflation run rate? The inflation run rate is really 11%, but they're telling you it's 2%. Remember, they don't count anything. They don't count food. They don't count energy. They don't count health care. They don't count any of your bills. They don't count nothing. So keep your eye. Every day I show my gang members, tell them what the 10-year Treasury yield, because when it hits, I think when it's going to hit 2.6, 2.4, 2.6 is when the crash will happen. Because this economy is so bad and the debt is so high, it just can't survive on this kind of debt. So what we're looking at right now is those stocks that all these people that are coming in now, okay, all these people that are coming in on margin, they're all jumping in the same 5-6 stocks. We're going to do what we call momentum plays. We play the momentum. The other stocks we're looking at to play, okay, are the short sides, because that's where the money is. And then the other place you can make money, okay, is you go to those stocks that have been beaten up, that are on the bottom, and that big hedge funds shorted them. They go down, but they got to buy them back. They have no choice, and it moves the stock up. We call our 50%ers. So if you were in a stock at 20 and the hedge funds came in and shorted it down to $5, and let's say they made $5,000. They don't make that $5 until they buy the stock, which pushes up the stock. And that's called a short covering. And they have to, no choice. You know that stock's going up. That's the easiest money you'll ever make. But once it gets up to what we call 50%, then you got a problem. You got to be out. So, look, every day, you start at 9:30, in the morning, or actually starting at 8 o'clock, okay, we give what we call coffee talk. I bring you up to date as to what's going to happen with the market, what happened the day before, what I think is going to happen today with the market, what's going to affect us. That's called coffee talk. Then 9:30, I stay on between 9:30 and 5 after 10, where I talk about individual stocks, what we should do with certain individual stocks, what's affecting the stock market, what we have to do. Then 5 after 10, then Steve comes on, who's the head of our education department. And any stock you have, you got a question on, you ask him about it. And then everybody else can see what you're asking. It helps everybody. Like you'll say, well, should I add to my position? Gee, I'm thinking of buying this stock, or I'm thinking of shorting this stock. And then all between 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock, all during the day, you're getting alerts. All during the day, we're contacting you, telling you what's going on in the market, keeping you up to date. And then we get to the radio show, and then after the radio show, we do a wrap-up. So we're always in touch with you. You're never alone. And when we reach out to you, all we're asking, once you start making money, please help St. Jude. It's that simple. Look, the one thing that we know is in 2008, Bush, to protect his family, which is all banking, that's where they make their money, not oil, he refused to take the bad banks and tank them, get rid of them, break them up. He took care of himself, his family, and all other families, the big dynasty families like the Getty family and the rest of them, took care of them, didn't take care of Main Street. For 13 years, because of that, this market's been going up on only one thing, debt. It can't go up on anything else except debt. And if you believe debt is good and debt can sustain this rally, you're out of your mind. You just got to know which stocks to be in, which stocks to be out, and which stocks to short. And we'll help you that with a color-coded chart very easily. See you on the charts.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.